Well, that's absolutely fantastic to see what's happening in some of these schools. And in this place, you will recall, there was more drinking water, there was no toilets earlier, there are badminton courts, playgrounds, a lot of facilities are now there. Obviously, the government has to start playing a really important role in this. So I got a chance to speak a short while earlier to the Minister for Women and Child Welfare, Maneka Gandhi, and spoke to her about this particular campaign. This is what the Minister had to say. And thank you so much for being with us. Now, we've just done 500 schools. It's an important landmark, pushing for 1,000. I wonder if there's any message that you might have for us. And how important is it to actually have proper facilities in schools, and especially things like toilets for girl children?
I think you've done a remarkable job. And toilets for girl children are, why for girl children, for any child, are really, really important, because lots of children don't go to school, or they feel embarrassed because they can't go to the bathroom. But I would suggest two things. One is these 500 schools you've done are amazing, but we have 565 really, really hungry members of parliament, each of which has an Adarsh Gaon, which they have to turn into a sort of paradise for everybody else to look at. And if the next 500 you do, it could be in those Adarsh Gaons, taking the school there, then it would show up and it would act as a, have a spillover effect. Secondly, what I do think is when you're giving things to schools, one of the things you could think about is sanitary towels. Now, for 5 days a month, most girl children don't go to school because they feel embarrassed. So we did an experiment in Chandigarh, and we found that when we placed the sanitary towels there, the children went for 30 days a month, or whenever they were supposed to be, minus the holidays. And it had an immediate effect.
Moving on, in general, one of the things is that's also being spoken about the government is this entire Swachh Bharat, Swachh Vidyalay concept. It does tie in with this also, because a lot of what we've been trying to do is in the areas of Swachhata, putting toilets into schools and all of that.
This is an opportunity to get multiple partners on board. So it's not just NDTV and COCA-COLA, but also getting partners who have something to do with with that sanitary napkins, or partners who can come in and help with libraries or electricity to schools, and all of which goes to creating a happy school, which is a Swachh Vidyalay, and a Swachh Vidyalay is something where children really enjoy coming to school and they stay in school longer.
Right. So, sir, you've been nominated as a Swachh Ambassador by the Prime Minister.
When I became the ambassador, and coincidentally that's when I tied up with Coke and became a part of the family. And the first thing I said when I met them, that can we get this together? Support my school and see whether we can spread, because the network as a brand like Coke or a company like Coke have, you can use the facilities and the network to actually pass on the message to the entire nation and maybe to the entire world.
We're about to have a special guest joining us, Rajiv, Pratap, Rudy, about to come in and join us, with the Minister in also looking after skill development. Thank you so much for coming and joining us. Rajiv, when it comes to the concept of, you're Minister of Skill Development. One of the things that we really are looking at is the quality of our schools and the facilities that we have in our schools. So this campaign has really been trying to improve those facilities by steps like, putting toilets into them, drinking water, all of that. Is this something that you think is really, really crucial, that we have to improve the quality of facilities that are there in our schools across the country?
When you say about the challenge of sanitation, I see almost a large number of schools in last 50 odd years, they have toilets. But if you I visit my constituency, there are toilets which are made for children. But those school toilets, if you ask the children, they are opened once in a while, and that is not for the use. You are talking about children using it. They are basically for the teachers who head those schools. They keep it under lock and key for the use. So wherever, if you find it a misnomer, you find a school toilet, it may not essentially be for the girl child or the girl boy. It could also be exclusively made for the teacher.
All right, so you've given us a lot to think about. I now want to come to many of our partners. Many of them are here, and they've all been helping us in thinking about the next steps forward, how we can conceptualize it, what are the specific steps we can take. So why don't I start by giving across to Ranjit Bhattacharya of Pratham. Ranjit, your thoughts, your suggestions from whatever you've done, and also you do this survey. So what's the result of that?
This year we visited, and in each village we visit about one primary school, government primary school. This year we visited 15,000 schools, in excess of 15,000 schools. तो उसका जो आंकड़े कुछ है हम आपके सामने पेश कर रहे हैं, खास तौर से टॉयलेट के जो जिक्र किया गया है इसमें. जनरल टॉयलेट जो है तकरीबन जो है 65% स्कूलों में टॉयलेट फंक्शनल थे. 6% स्कूल में टॉयलेट था ही नहीं, और बाकी जो मिसिंग फिगर है वो आइदर बंद थे टॉयलेट्स या इस्तेमाल करने लायक थे नहीं बिल्कुल. एंड इफ यू लुक एट स्पेसिफिकली गर्ल्स टॉयलेट, only 55% of the schools visited, now this is 50, I'm talking about more than 15,000 schools, had functional girls toilet. 18% didn't have toilets. Again, the missing numbers were either closed or found to be unusable. And when it comes to potable water, about 75% school had potable water. Rest, about 13% didn't have water at all. But the question here is, as Farhan said, clean water when he started. No one is talking about the quality of water.
What's been so encouraging for me and for the partners with World Vision is the focus on sanitation and the focus on also making sure that the girl child has in the schools I visited in Faridabad that were support my schools, they had these facilities for sanitary pads. And I think that emphasis on sanitation is really unique.
For that, let me just quickly get Nida Hassan actually is there, who's been working on this on behalf of Plan India. Nida, you've been helping and executing a lot of these projects on the ground. So some of the challenges you faced, and also what is your sense of what happens when children are exposed to better facilities in school? What's the impact that happens on them elsewhere in their lives?
Some of the challenges that we faced in the very initial stages of implementation were the irregular supply of water or no supply of water at all in the schools, which was required for the construction of the infrastructure as well. And that was the point we realized, that the access to water component of the SMS campaign is how crucial that is. Where we'll talk about the larger impact on the lives of the students, the children who are impacted by these interventions, is the healthy practices that they imbibe in the school, the healthy hygienic practices that they take them back home to their families and to the larger communities around their families. Which basically fulfills the purpose.
Isaac Perry from World Vision India, who's also been helping with the implementation. Any specific help that you think we can all offer?
What I'll suggest is a drive where community ownership, the schools, the teachers, the children ownership can be generated.
If I let's just play for you some of the sort of work that so many of our partners have been doing in various parts of India.
For World Vision, the well-being of children is the way we measure all that we do. And fundamental area that we invest in is access to quality education. And in our understanding, intervention in education is probably one of the most powerful tools to break the vicious cycle of poverty. And for us to get the child into school is probably a very small, big step just to get the child into school, which we have done reasonably well.
We are engaging the community more and more increasingly. In some areas we find that the communities, the parents have set up committees. In some areas, children have set up committees which are engaging proactively in maintenance issues related to school. So it has been constantly evolving in terms of becoming more efficient as well. We are doing more with less resources now as we move forward in this program. We are engaging more huge number of stakeholders.
Plan started working on school water sanitation. I think we were one of the first organizations which did the school water sanitation audits, and we realized that more than 80% schools did not have water sanitation facilities, and exclusive toilets for girls was not even there. And many girls particularly dropped out of schools because they didn't have access to toilets. And today, the programs that we have in schools, this has ensured not only, school enrollment, retention, but also it has ensured good hygienic practices. Children are learning in schools, and the knowledge is not limited to them because they are taking it to their families and to their friends.
Implementation, if you say, we look at it three ways. One is before implementing, the preparatory phase, and actually the implementation, execution of the facilities creation along with them. Bringing the people together at the ground, for them it's the first time. This campaign has created the platform. So on this platform, we are playing a role of a conduit.
All right, that's absolutely fantastic. So many compliments and all congratulations to all of you.
People like you and those who are there in the audience, they are partnering. So let's make it a mission, let's achieve it, and I think this is the satisfaction which everyone will go back home with. Thank you.
So Minister, thank you so much for coming and joining us. Thanks a lot.